Hello to everyone. I'm Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to relay a message to the 144,000. So I've been guided to do this message at this time because I was awakened out of my sleep at exactly 1:44 a.m. And when I awakened out of my sleep, I looked at my phone because I had a video playing that I was listening to prior to going to sleep. And when I looked at my phone, it said game over. That's the exact words that was on my phone. Game over at 1:44 a.m. So that to me is a direct message for the 144,000 to know that we have literally cracked the code. What do I mean when I say crack the code? Well, as you all know by now, we have been living in a matrix, okay? We have begun to see very clearly that all that has been presented to us has been an illusion. It has been a man made illusion by people who are vibrating very low, that have no souls, that have no connection to the Most High. They wanted to create an illusion for the masses, for us to remain in a state of inferiority and for them to remain in a position of power. So now that this has been revealed to us, we are beginning to wake up now that we are in the age of Aquarius, coming out of the age of Pisces, where we was more easily convinced, more easily conditioned by religious constructs, political constructs, and various things around us that kept us chained and bound to a specific way of living, very tied down and bogged down by materialism, the ego, and our carnal nature. So now we're waking up out of this sleep, okay? Which literally I was awakened out of my sleep. And many changes are happening around us right now, okay? And so, with that being said, game over. It's over for the so called powers that were. Their time is up. And as the one thing that is certain and that is constant is change. Nothing stays the same. They have reached their peak in their position of power, and because they established their position of power through hate, through greed, through criminal activity, theft, rape, robbing, murdering, um, they are now, their timing is short. It's been cut very short in comparison to other empires that, you know, um, lasted for thousands of years versus theirs for a few hundred years. Game over, okay? What's happening with the collective, the 144,000 at this time, is that we as a collective are beginning to see things much more clearly. You might have been questioning yourself lately. Am I losing my mind? Am I seeing this correctly? Uh, what are these new thoughts that are coming in? I know that I'm different. I know that I'm chosen, but there's something within you that's questioning whether or not you're losing it. You're not losing your mind. You're not going crazy. Okay, what is happening is you're receiving messages. Okay, you're receiving messages that are coming in to present the illusion to you. The illusion is being presented to you so that you can release and free yourself from the illusion. Okay? Now, laid out in front of me, I have a few cards that I pulled because I wanted to discuss, because I wanted, initially I pulled them out because I wanted to see, okay, well, what is happening with the collective, the 144,000, the heart of the body, okay? And what I'm seeing here is that there's messages that's coming in. Things are being revealed to us, but we can't see 100% just yet, okay? Our spiritual eyes are opening, but we don't see 100% exactly where this path is leading us and what's getting ready to happen. We just feel, and we know that there are changes that are happening around us, but we cannot exactly see what's happening because in the physical, there might not be enough changes that have happened around you to actually solidify what you know and feel to be going on in the spiritual realm. The 144,000, we have been strongly a part of the spiritual warfare and fighting that spiritual warfare off through our healing. That has been our position in the battle in terms of the spiritual warfare. The position of the holy angels and of our ancestors of love and light, the Most High, all of our spiritual team has actually The battle has been won in the spiritual realm. The enemy has no place. He has no place in the spiritual realm. And so, as you know, everything happens in the spiritual realm first before it actually manifests in the physical. Okay? And so, what's happening is the battle has been won in the spiritual realm. So now we are waiting for the results. We're waiting to see this happen and unfold in the physical. I feel that our position at this time as the 144,000 is to become what we are being um, set up to create. We have to become what we are being prepared to create. It is our position to build a new structure for humanity. It is our position to build a new understanding and to actually bring in the messages that have been given to us, to actually present that to the world so that they may be able to see things from a new perspective and so that they can also see through the matrix. Many other people are awakening, but they're not awakening on the level that we are awakening, and they're not going to receive the understanding or the messages that we are receiving on the level that we are receiving them. And so, because of that, you might feel that there's not enough people or not too many people that you can actually communicate your experiences to. Because these things that you are experiencing is not simply experiences that's happening within you or just within your spiritual realm. These are experiences that are also happening outside of you. You might be noticing synchronicities of numbers. You might be noticing certain animals that come around you. You might be noticing, for me personally, I've been seeing a lot of snakes lately. And initially, when I saw my first snake, the first snake that presented itself to me, I thought, okay, well, maybe there's someone that I need to be on the lookout for. And that particular person that I was already having an intuitive nudge about, I ended up releasing them from my life. And I had multiple breakthroughs in the spiritual realm in terms of things that I was able to receive, messages that I was able to receive because I released that person energetically from my life. But then I started seeing snakes more and more. I'd say within the past 3 weeks, I've seen at least 7 snakes altogether. And I take pictures of them and I post them on my Facebook page. But I'm starting to see that the snakes for me actually represent transformation. It represents me releasing and shedding my old skin. And so this is what's happening, I feel, as a collective because we are all one heart. We are the heart of the body. And so our position and our role is very vital. Okay, it is vital to the body. We are the ones that pump the blood, that keeps things moving and flowing the proper way. We receive the messages. You see what I'm saying? And without the heart, the body is dead. And that's what has happened. We was sleep. We was put asleep for a time under generational curses. That's why you are a generational curse breaker. We was put asleep for a time. And because the heart was asleep, so was the body asleep. Okay. And now that we are beginning to awaken, and as a collective of the 144,000, we are beginning to awaken, the body is beginning to receive its supply again. But first, we have to find our balance. We have to find our tone. We have to find our beat first. And right now, because, there's a lot of releasing that's happening in our lives, and there's so many messages that's coming in and so many things that we are experiencing that we've never experienced before. It can kind of throw you off balance a little bit. And so before we can collectively come together to create that one sound, to create that one verse, to create that balance to the universe. Universe means one verse, one voice, one sound. We have to first establish that balance within ourselves. And so right now, you might not see things clearly, and you might feel as if you've been you vibrating so high, and your understanding, you see things from such a high perspective that you feel like you're losing your mind, but you're not losing your mind. What happens is you have to be lifted up high. You have to go way higher than your circumstances, like the eagle that flies in the highest level of altitude than any other bird, but he also flies alone. Keep in mind, it's one of the most powerful birds, if not the most powerful. And it also is able to fly at the highest altitude and still be able to thrive, okay? But it also is able to zone in on those things that are below it and see it from a different perspective than any other bird. And so you have to recognize that you are being lifted up high above your circumstances so that you can see things clearly, get the full scope, the full picture. Okay, at least that is as much as your vessel has been created to receive and understand, because understand that knowledge and wisdom and understanding is infinite. There is no cutoff point. There is no ceiling. It is infinite. The Most High is infinite. Thereby, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that He grants to us is infinite. But you have to be lifted up high above your circumstances in order to see things from a clear perspective. And so, because you are at such a high altitude, it's a part of you that you might feel like it's so different that you feel like you're wondering if you're losing it, but you're not. You have to restore your balance. You have to maintain, continue to stay connected to Mother Earth, because that's what allows you to remain rooted and grounded as your spirit. As you're being lifted up in the spiritual realm, you want to make sure that physically your body remains rooted and grounded to Mother Earth. And this is why I always try to encourage you all to go outside, take your shoes off, get connected to nature, and do this on a regular basis, especially during such a vital transformation. This is something that we should always do, for it's a lifelong practice, okay? But this is something that's very needed right now for the collective, because you are stepping into a new beginning at this time. You're closing out old cycles, and you are being called to release negative thought processes, release people that do not serve you, release habits, addictions that do not serve you, release. And when I talk about addictions, because I feel that this is something that really needs to be discussed in terms of sex. Society has conditioned us to believe that it is normal. It is a normal practice for people to engage in sex just haphazardly, or even when it comes to things such as pornography. You are creating soul ties with those people that you watch and that you masturbate to as they ejaculate or have their moment of climax. And you are doing the same by watching them in this physical act. You are creating soul ties with very low spirits, very low vibrational energies. This is for somebody, okay? Everybody might not receive this because you might not be in this energy, but I want you to know that it's very important for you to guard and see your body as being a very sacred space at this time, because any type of energy that you connect with, you are powerful enough in that way where your climax, you are creating something with that energy. And so if you are watching these things, or even if you are just masturbating and you are thinking about people from your past who are very low vibrational in energy, and you know that this is not your divine partner and this is not the person that you are divinely guided to be with, then you are creating bonds with them in the spiritual realm, and that is going to disrupt you on a spiritual level internally, and it's going to be hard for you to maintain this high vibrational energy at this time. Okay, so the 144,000 needs to be very cognizant of what we connect ourselves to in all ways, shapes, and forms. Okay, people, places, things, addictions. It's time to release those things. Step out on faith. Okay, do what's necessary to purge these things from your life. It's a new beginning that's happening here. You're going into an energy of solitude. Many of us are spending a lot of time alone, okay? We're not going out amongst people. This is our time right now. The reason why you're being called to release so many people from your life is because they did not serve you where you are headed. They cannot serve you where you're headed. So shedding that old skin doesn't just consist of you transforming, but it also consists of your external circumstances transforming, and you releasing and shedding the skin of all of those people that cannot go with you moving forward. And so in this moment of solitude, this is a time for you to do a lot of research, studying. And research and studying doesn't have to necessarily be in regards to you picking up a book, but if you feel compelled or called to read from specific texts, then do that. Much of the information and knowledge that's coming into the 144,000 is coming from an internal place. These are messages that's being given from the Most High directly placed within us, so that we're able to see things from a higher level of consciousness. Our DNA is being activated because the earth is now closer, the sun is now closer to earth. The vibratory frequency, the rate that's around us is much higher. And because we have been selected to be the light, we are very connected to the sunlight. And so the sunlight is actually activating our DNA. My phone just said 1444. The sun is activating our DNA, okay, for the purpose of us vibrating higher to be that light. We are to shine. There was a song that I used to sing when I was in church way back in the day when I was a kid. They would have us sing this song, "This little light of mine, just this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." So we are the light. We are directly connected to the source, okay? And so in this energy of solitude, you're receiving all of these messages that's going to be coming in, and much of it, like I said, is going to come from within your Akashic records, coming from your own DNA being activated, okay? What they call dormant DNA is being activated within 144,000 because we are divine beings. Okay, so we have to be in this energy of thriving. If you are in that energy of survival mode, if you are concerned about finances, you have to also release those type of thought processes and know that you are covered, you are taken care of. The Most High did not create you to be a divine being to have to struggle. You need to be in the mindset of thriving. And so in order to do this, one thing that I can encourage you to do is speak affirmations upon waking and upon going to sleep, or constantly throughout the day. If you find yourself overthinking, you have to create that void within your own mind. You have to create that empty space within your own mind that allows you to only pour into yourself positive things, positive thoughts, positive words, positive feelings. You have to become the alchemist, okay? This is all about using the creative tools. The Most High has given us tools. He's blessed us with so many different things around us in nature and within us. And everything that exists around us is to be used at our disposal from a place of integrity, okay? From a space of integrity. So you want to use these tools that are being given to you. Go out into nature, sun gaze. That's very important for the collective at this time. Sun gazing is very important because it allows you to receive those direct messages that's coming from the sun, which is the highest level of energy that exists within our solar system. Okay, and because we are light beings, because we were created to have that light shine within us, your eyes, they say the eyes are a direct window to the soul. Your eyes, think about it, your eyes are a window to the soul. And so the soul, what do they call the sun? Okay, we're talking about the solar rays or whatever you want to call it that comes from the sun. Don't get too technical with it, but we know that there are rays that come from the sun that are used energetically to create life. And so when you sun gaze, you're actually receiving energetically all of that information that should be coming in. And a lot of times we tend to want to consume the information, right? We go and we eat plants, which are constantly exposed to the sun, and they receive their energy and their life force from the sun. And so you consume those plants, and you are ingesting the information and the codes that come from the sun. But because much of the fruits and the vegetables have been tampered with and sprayed with pesticides and all of these different things, it has been dampered down in terms of the amount of information that we can receive through ingesting it via our mouth. But using your eyes to sun gaze daily or as often as possible is actually going to allow that information to go straight into you to help activate your DNA and to help raise your vibrations. And so get out of that energy of survival mode, get into the energy of thriving, and know that the Most High, the birds do not have to worry about where they're going to lay, where they're going to sleep, or how they're going to get their food. The flowers do not have to spin or toil when it comes to how they're going to thrive. Everything in life is readily and understands that their position has been created for a divine purpose, and they just be. So you have to get into this energy of just being and knowing that you are safe and that you are covered. Release any fear of lack mentality, because know that as a seed, as the 144,000, you are constantly in the energy of creating. Right now, even more so than ever, you are creating. And so if you are thinking negative thoughts, then you are creating negative circumstances for yourself. You are creating more obstacles for yourself. And so recognize that you are alchemizing the energy. Really start releasing any thoughts, any conditioning, any concepts, any fear of taking the leap of faith forward. Release that and move forward. Okay, you are in this energy. You have to do that so that you can receive the messages. When you are becoming more receptive to the energies that's around you and the messages that's coming in, the only way that they have a space to go into is if you have actually emptied out all things that are blockages within yourself. So if you have any pain, guilt, shame, fear, lack mentality, addictions, whatever it is that you have, release all of it. Go into the energy. You might need to fast for some time. 3, 4 days might not be enough. You might need to fast 7 days, 2 weeks, some people even 30 days. You have to make some sacrifices in your life in order to rise up, because we are doing this as a collective body. We have to all move in unison and as one in order for the heart to beat, okay? Like I said, we are the heart. You are being divinely guided and directed by your angels. Anytime that you find yourself feeling as if you're stuck, you are being guided to speak out those things. Speak to the Most High. Give thanks to Him that He has created a spiritual team that surrounds you at all times. And then you need to call out to your spiritual team and ask the holy angels, ask your ancestors of love and light to help you through any obstacles that you might find that you're going through, to help you to release certain things that might be weighing you down or keeping you from your forward movement. And then from there, once you have found your stability, because right now this is all about regaining our stability. Now that we have been lifted up so high to see through the matrix, it's now about getting back grounded, remaining your stability. You get stable in the spiritual realm and stable in the physical realm. And so you become more balanced, and you're allowing that infinite energy to flow through you spiritually and physically. That's just like the infinity sign is what I'm seeing right now. Allowing that infinite energy to flow through you on a spiritual level and to unfold and to manifest in the physical level. So you have to stay balanced in both on both levels, okay? And so another part of that is you're being born again. You're being presented. Everything that you're seeing in the physical realm is now looking very new to you. You might go outside and you might be discovering things now. You might be more curious about the insects, more curious, whereas before you might have been afraid. Now you're more curious and open. When you see butterflies, you're taking notice of these things. You're more sensitive to sound, the sounds of the birds. You take notice to these things, okay? There's nothing that gets past you, whereas before you was so you was operating as almost robotic, because you had been conditioned to think that focusing in on materialism and keeping up with the bills and keeping up with certain time frames, all of these things was an illusion. And now you're beginning to see through that. And so in this innocence, in this childlike nature, start rediscovering who you are. Rediscover who this new creature is that you are becoming, okay? And be comfortable with that. Get back in your childlike nature. Become more playful. Do not be too rigid. Get outside. Get into nature. So the cards that I have here is your cup runneth over. Prepare to be lifted up before your enemies. Like I said, when I started, game over was on my phone. Your cup runneth over. Prepare to be lifted up in front of your enemies. So your cup is spilling over with love. We are the heart. The heart is symbolic of love, okay? The heart chakra. Because we are the heart, we are now in this energy of creating self-love. Self-love looks like releasing things that do not serve you for your highest good, and only taking in those things that do serve your highest good. So your cup, you're going to have so much within you that you're going to have more than enough to give. That is our position here as the 144,000, to express and to give love. And by giving this love and expressing this love, by beating as that heart in unison under one voice, one sound, we shift the vibratory frequencies around us, and we create this energy of love within the universe, because right now it has been operating under an energy of hate. It has been operating under an energy of very low vibrational energy, because of the structure that we had, and because we were asleep, because the heart, we were asleep. But now that we are awakening, we now have to reestablish our balance. Now that we have been all these things have been revealed to us, and we're starting to see things from such a higher level of perception. We have to regain our balance as a collective. That says you have overcome the most chaotic moments in your life. New beginnings are happening now. And so the hardest part is over for the collective. And this is why it's so important for you to get back stabilized, because chaos brings change. You had to go through the chaos in order to see the change unfold, not just out externally to you. You had a lot of chaos that was happening in your life, because I surely had a lot of disruptions that was happening in my awakening in terms of work, career, relationships, children acting out. Different things was happening that I had to learn how to get my balance. I had to learn how to alchemize the energy and to create a different outlook for myself. Okay, in spite of the chaos, I had to recognize why the chaos was happening, and I had to embrace the changes that were occurring so that it wouldn't be so hard, so that I wouldn't be resisting the process, so that I would remain in the eye of the storm rather than being swept up in the storm. You stay in the eye of the storm, and that's how you deal with the chaotic change that's happening. And so we've done that. We've gone through the change. We've overcome the most chaotic moments in our life, and now we are moving towards a new beginning. So it's now time for preparation to go and take this leap of faith towards this new beginning that says your mind is not playing tricks on you. Okay, and that's where I was talking to you about. No, you're not going crazy. No, you're not losing your mind. Your mind is not playing tricks on you. You are now just seeing through the illusion. And when you see through the illusion, and you have everybody else that's around you that's still very much so, they have an umbilical cord to the illusion, they can't see anything outside of that, then you end up looking like the one that's crazy. But that's only because when most of the world is crazy, then the one that steps outside of that is the one that looks crazy to the world. You see what I'm saying? And so understand that we possess something, we possess a very powerful gift, okay? And it is our position right now to shift the energy that is around us that says you are overthinking right now. Do not allow yourself to be in this energy of overthinking. You want to release all of those thoughts that do not serve you. You can do this by writing certain things down. If you find yourself overthinking, write it down. I release XYZ. I release XYZ. Burn it. Give it up to the universe that is no longer yours. And you want to replace it with positive affirmations, positive words of affirmation. I am loved. I am confident. I am strong. I am a healer. I am gifted. Excuse me. You are now seeing through delusions. Fly higher. Okay, you are seeing through the illusion of the matrix. You're going to continue to fly higher. You're going to continue to receive these messages that are coming in, because like I said, wisdom and knowledge is infinite. It's never ending. And so you will always be in this energy of learning more. We are always going to be in this position of being both the teacher and the student. And so we have to remain humble in our positions, and we have to also be prepared to actually speak the truth and to actually project the truth to the universe, and to humanity. Okay, so like I said, becoming what we are being prepared to create. We know that we are being prepared to create a new structure, one that's stable, one that's solid, one that is based on righteous judgment, one that is balanced and that is based on love, compassion, empathy. So you have to first become that within. We have to become that structure first. The kingdom of God is within you. So you have to first become the kingdom that you are being molded to create. The actual structure will be created by us in the physical realm. And so you might already be in a position where you are using your gifts. Whatever your gifts are, you're probably already using those gifts and expressing these gifts to the world. But make sure that you are continuing to build the structure within yourself, and it's going to project and it's going to manifest outward as a whole, as a one body. Okay, this also says here your gift is being born within you right now, so nurture it. So your gifts, excuse me, y'all, your gifts are being born within you, so you want to continue to nurture it. Continue to nurture yourself. Continue to stay in a place where, because just like any pregnancy, when you're pregnant with a child, you have to nurture yourself in order to nurture that child. And so you want to continue to nurture yourself as this gift is being formed and shaped within you, because there's more that you have to present to the world. This is not it. We're just touching the surface of what our gifts are, okay? They're going to continue to get heightened. They're going to continue to evolve. And so expect this. And this is why your cup is going to be your cup runneth over, and you're going to be lifted up in front of your enemies. Your cup is running over, because that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have more than enough within, and more than enough to give to a multitude of people. The 144,000, we're going to be touching people across the world. It's much greater than what we see right now. And so, like I said, we're just now touching the surface of how big and how grand the scales are going to get when it comes to what our position is here in humanity, okay? And so you have to get prepared for that, but just know that you was built for it. It's nothing that you have to be concerned about or be nervous about. Stay in the energy of thriving. We are no longer in the energy of survival mode, because survival mode is a low vibrational energy, and it creates an energy of you becoming a host to uh, stumbling blocks or people who have negative intentions, okay, or even fear. You become a host to those types of energies. And so you want to remain in that energy of thriving. I am alive because I am supposed to be here. The Most High has created me for a very powerful and divine purpose. And so everything that I do will continue to flourish. Everything that I touch will continue to blossom and grow. Okay? You want to continue to reaffirm who you are, okay, because you're releasing who you used to be. Now you're reaffirming who you are becoming. So you want to constantly be in that energy, consciously creating thoughts that are serving your highest good, creating emotions that are serving your highest good until eventually it's just natural to you. So you want to do that on a regular basis. Um, if you're going through any type of anxiety that you might be feeling that's only due to fear, that's due to suppressed emotions, things that you might be holding back. So I can understand if you're feeling anxious about all of the information that's coming in and you're feeling very different through this transformation. Like I said, that's why it's so important for you to get out into nature and to get grounded again. Okay, so that you can have a way to release all of that pent up energy because the ground, the earth, and the human body actually have an energetic exchange like a battery that takes place. And so all of that pent up energy, you can release it and put it back into the earth through your feet as you plant your feet into the soil. You are releasing all of that extra energy just like they do when they ground the wires, when they do electrical setups in homes. They take the additional wires and they place it into the earth because the earth can handle all of the additional energy. And so that's what you're doing. Okay, and also at the same time, you're being recharged. Okay, you're getting the energy from the earth and you're also receiving the messages that come through from the earth because the earth is alive. Okay, and so I believe that that is the message for the collective. I want you to stay in a space of hope. Definitely continue to maintain your faith. Know that all things are going to work out for the greatest good and that we are being built for this, okay? And so nothing can go wrong as long as you are not in the energy of creating obstacles for yourself based on negative thought processes, emotions, or holding on to things that are no longer serving you, be it people, places, or things. So releasing is very important right now. That's the message for the collective. I love y'all. If you was able to receive something from this message, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you all back here again. If you want a private reading from me, you can always email me. I'll leave that in the description box below. So I love y'all, and I'll talk to you next time.